What's up, guys? So I want to make a video. I want to walk around my apartment with my cats and just talk a little bit about some very important thing in astrology. So essentially what I want to talk about today is Pisces energy, Neptune / Pisces energy, and how it can manifest in love. So just before I get started, I'm literally just gonna do a lap around my apartment with the different lights and stuff. This isn't necessarily like a certain placement I'm talking about. So I'll give you an example. Like if you have like Neptune in the 7th house, right? Or if you have a Pisces Venus or a Pisces Mars or a Pisces Moon or even a Pisces Sun. And the same can be said like with like Neptune aspecting your like a certain like let's say Venus square Neptune or something like that, right? Or even Moon square Neptune. The list goes on and on, right? So it's like it's not necessarily just one alignment. It can be a number of things. So first of all, I want to start by saying that so many of my clients have this type of signature in their birth chart. Like I just see it all the time in some type of way. And I want to talk about it. So what I've noticed about it is that it tends to create sort of like this very sometimes over idealistic, it can even be like Jupiter and Pisces too is a big one with this, right? It can create this like over idealistic energy when it comes to relationships and love. And basically the person can sometimes be willing to sacrifice everything, like just like throw their entire life away for someone they might not even know that well, right? So Neptune rules illusions, right? It rules dreams, it rules the unconscious, it rules this otherworldly energy, right? You guys follow me? You guys understand Neptune? It's like, imagine it's like fog energy. It's like very mystical and very spiritual, but it can be very confusing because it's this energy that's so hard to grasp because it's pretty much undefinable. It's like we don't really have words to describe Neptune energy in the English language or any other language that I know, maybe in Sanskrit or something, who knows, but Neptune doesn't even exist in Vedic astrology. And basically like in love, right? So many things can happen. And what one big theme I've seen is that these people tend to fall in love with potential as opposed to reality. So for example, they might have like this image in their head of like what their perfect like mate or partner or whatever the fuck looks like, right? I mean, not looks, excuse me. What their partner is like, not just looks, just everything, right? And they might meet someone and that person might, fill in some of those needs. And instead of actually getting to know that individual, right? Like by like allowing everything to kind of happen naturally, they can sometimes tend to place this person into their ideal, right? It's almost like let's say they only know 20% of the human being that they just met. The other 80%, they just automatically say, okay, like they're just perfect. Or like that 80% that I still haven't discovered is my ideal, is like my perfect, they're perfect. So there can be lots of trouble that someone with this type of energy, right? And of course, like just because you have this in your chart doesn't mean that you manifest it this way, right? If you first of all, the first step to change is awareness, right? Is having the consciousness and understanding, okay, this is something. But so it can be really difficult because there can be this huge outpour of like, wow, like fascination, right? And what can happen, and I have like different clients who as me, she's a Pisces rising, different clients, different friends, whatever, who have this kind of signature, is that they don't actually meet, like truly meet like if it's the person they're talking to, like the partner, like whoever it is, until that pink cloud part of the relationship goes away, right? So the pink cloud is when all the serotonin, dopamine, everything is just like flowing like crazy. And just a beautiful painting. And like it creates this very, very confusing and sometimes dangerous environment for the Neptunian, right? Because in that moment, or in that period of time, it isn't real. So what I've started to kind of like, the way I've started to kind of explain this, because I, as an astrological counselor and astrologer, a lot of my, people that I have as clients, they have similar problems, right? And when I see this type of signature, I try to tell them, like, look, you, like, when you first meet someone, like, it's almost like you're, like, you can't, like, you're not actually meeting that person until the pink cloud is gone, until that initial period is gone, right? And when, like, up until that time happens, it's essentially like you might as well be on, like, some drug. You might as well be, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. It's not reality. Esme, stop. It's not reality. And it's just like, it's just, it's a lot of projecting. It's a lot of like, it's different for every person. But basically, like, my tip to people who have this type of signature in their chart is to take things, not everyone like wants to take things slow in relationships, but to really kind of like try to be grounded, like first, like, become aware that you have this tendency, and then let's say you meet someone, like take it slow and be really realistic. Don't make the biggest mistake is to be able to have like a claim, like, this person is my next boyfriend / girlfriend or whatever, right? Or like, it's my twin flame, or I've never, like chill on those big statements, because a lot of that is literally coming from the brain, from all of the just neurotransmitter, all the serotonin and dopamine that is mixing with the Neptunian fog, right? So try to, like, you can almost understand, like, that period of time is not real. So once you're actually seeing that person, really actually seeing that person, is when you stop idealizing them and you start, like, in some cases, seeing their imperfections, right? Seeing, noticing little things about them. Because when you get to know, like, it was said in the show Euphoria, I know I'm quoting Euphoria, whatever. What did he say? He said that getting to know someone is like unpeeling an onion, right? Layer after layer after layer. And it's very true. So the more information that you, amiga, cat cam. Anyways, the more that you start to peel off, the higher, then you suddenly go from 20% to 50% of that person that you understand, right? And then imagine that, like, when you take that jump from 20 to 50, you start to see some things that maybe you don't like. But maybe when you were at 20%, or when you were just starting to get to know them, everything was so perfect because you allowed, like, the parts of them that you didn't know to you just pretended like, oh, the Neptune energy tricked you to be like, okay, yeah, that other part is perfect. You made a claim, like you said it was your soulmate, you said it was your twin flame, or you said that, like, you made big claims, and then you have to eat that shit when you realize it's not like that. You were literally in an illusion, right? So that's kind of my 2 cents. There's a lot more you can say about this type of energy. It's highly, highly romantic, and it really depends on, like, the rest of your chart. So, of course, you need to, like, get a full birth chart reading to really understand, like, how it works, like, with the entire natal composition. But it's highly romantic. It's really seeking to have, like, a spiritual type of relationship. It's really seeking to, like, expand its level of spirituality through a relationship. And it's like people who have these types of placements, they're really seeking a soulmate. They're really seeking, like, someone that it's like, they're gonna grow with. They're gonna, it's very, very deep and spiritual, the type of love language, right? But it's very sensitive, and because it's so idealistic, it can be so prone to, like, the whole Disney, like, Prince Charming, or, like, like the whole archetype Beauty and the Beast type thing, right? So it's just like there's a real need to reality check, which is like, for example, like let's say you have a therapist, checking in with a therapist when you're in that kind of pink cloud period of time, making sure like, okay, like am I grounded, and just checking in with yourself constantly. Also, what else can I say? Yeah, like there's different ways to go about it, but even checking with the other person, and like once you understand like that you have like a certain tendency, like maybe it's like a tendency like that, you can like tell whatever, like the person, the partner, whoever the hell, whatever you want to call it, the person you're getting to know, look, I have this tendency, and that can actually, like, I feel like most people, when you're like honest with them and vulnerable and stuff, they'll actually respond quite well. Like people are usually like very afraid of that, but like lots of times it like people respect honesty, respect when you're just able to just like say something a little bit vulnerable and that you might be a little bit more timid about. So aside from that, with this Neptunian placement in love, watch out for like, these are the people that have to really watch out for the energy vampires. They really have to watch out for the narcissists. They really have to watch out for the people who paint a picture and who are kind of like trying to take advantage of the good, the goodwill and the good nature and that deep need to love. And I talked about a few videos ago how someone who falls in love quickly is really just replacing that feeling with love. Like they're trying to find divine love that you can only find through whatever, if you're like, whatever spirituality connection you have to the universe, you're trying to find that in another person. That's never gonna work, right? It's never gonna work. So yeah, if you have Neptune, if you have Pisces, if you have all these elements I'm talking about, just think of the metaphor of fog. Think of like when you first get to know someone, there's going to be when it's foggy outside, you can't see, right? You can't see perspective. Like I live on a hill, so when there's fog, I can't see the city center, right? So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is like, imagine the city center represents the whole of things, like the whole of that person, the whole of everything. And at the start of you getting to know that person, there's going to be fog. You're not going to have a big picture, zoomed out understanding. But just knowing that, in my opinion, is the first step to success and to kind of breaking past a pattern you might have. So let me know what you guys think, if you guys have this in your chart, or have like experience or know people that have these types of tendencies. Sometimes it can get really ugly, like with this type of placement. I mean, I know people who have thrown their whole lives away for like Venus and Pisces in particular, just for for something that wasn't even like, I don't want to really get into it, but for something for something that just definitely objectively was not and is not worth it, right? So, last thing I'll say, with anything Pisces, anything Neptune, you need to spend time alone to really understand how someone's energy is. You need to like go from being with that person to then being alone, and notice how your energy shifts, right? Of course, I'm not saying that you're like, maybe it's your energy, right? But like, just see how you respond to their energy. And that's kind of like supposing that your energy is fine and there's nothing wrong with you on your side. And then you'll have like a very, very way better understanding. And also talk to your friends, maybe your more earthy, grounded kind of friends, about like what they think and get their opinions. If you have a therapist, that's a great way too. But it's a tricky placement, but in the end, there can be amazing romantic implications, and it can create amazing, I said amazing too much, but you guys get the point. It can really, really be great, but it can also be difficult because of all the fog, confusion, idealism. Rose-colored glasses is what I always say in my readings. Anyways, guys, my sale is still going, so go to my website, jesseannistontastrology.com, link in the bio if you guys want to get 50% off on my readings. I might keep it up for a little bit longer. I have no idea how long I'll keep it up. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, if you guys have ever experienced this. And I love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Bye.